I work with a lot of realtors who make video content, and a common question I get asked is TikTok worth it for real estate agents? Typically, I would say yes, but it depends on a few different factors. So let's go over those factors, and let's also talk about the algorithm and what type of videos you should be posting on TikTok as a real estate agent. TikTok was the most downloaded app in 2021 and remains the most downloaded app in 2022. But most downloads aren't everything. For reference, active users of other social platforms like Facebook are 2.9 billion, YouTube 2.2 billion, Instagram 1.4 billion, and in fourth, TikTok with 1 billion. Now, 1 billion is still a ton of people to market to, but you also got to consider that you're in a specific niche as a real estate agent, right? And you're typically dealing with home buyers and sellers of a certain demographic. According to homecity.com, the typical age of all home buyers has risen to 47 years old, and that's up from 31 years old in 1981. The percentage of US-based TikTok users by age breaks down like this. So around 32.5% are in that 10 to 19 age bracket. Then you have 29.5% that fall between the 20 and 29 year olds. And then the rest makes up around 30 to 35%. So you have plenty of people to get exposure from or to market to on TikTok. So let's talk about what type of videos you can actually post on TikTok as an agent that work. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to make these like trendy TikToks where you're just kind of dancing and pointing at bubbles. What I found to be effective is users who make a lot of talking head videos, giving educational content is probably the best route that you can go. So what type of talking head content pieces can you do as a real estate agent? Some good examples are market updates, pros and cons of living in your state or city, current housing market, tips and tricks, real estate coaching advice. It tends to be mostly educational content that works on most of these platforms. There are only really two types of creators. There are entertainers and educators, and real estate agents are authorities and educators. Now, let's talk about the algorithm. And the algorithm kind of is the same for most platforms, especially when it comes to video. One big factor is engagement. Engagement is anything from a like, a comment, a share, a rewatch. Then there's also subject matter. So certain platforms, depending on what subject or category you fall in, you might get more exposure than others. Then there's like device settings or locations. TikTok basically tries to recommend content locally. This is good as a real estate agent because if you're in a certain state or city and you're making real estate content about that city or state, it's going to expose you to people locally. Trending sounds, those really help. You can just kind of turn them down so you can barely hear them. That works. Look up what other hashtags and keywords other real estate agents are using, or just think of things that are relevant to what you're doing. Look at the most successful real estate agents in whichever platform, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Follow them, look at what they're doing, and copy that content. But always add a little bit about who you are and do it in your way and your style to make it unique to you. But generally, when you look at TikTok content, that's what you're going to notice is that everyone is doing the same trend. They're talking about the same thing because they're following what the audience wants. Generally, that's all you're really appealing to is what the audience wants. If you don't get any traction on your videos because the audience just generally didn't like your video. And if you want another opinion on why you should get on TikTok, then take a look at this.
When TikTok first started getting popular, I was not a believer. I saw all these agents posting dances and pointing at different things on the screen, and I thought, hey, that's not for me. I saw that people were spending a lot of time on TikTok, so I thought, I'm gonna cut up my micro tours of my properties, post them on TikTok, and see if we get any action. Well, I did that on a Tuesday. By Wednesday, we had 125,000 views overnight, and we got a call on a $3.5 million listing of ours. The 9 months prior to that, it got like no showings. One day on TikTok, boom, we had an interested buyer. 3 days later, I earned my first six-figure commission. TikTok, you made a believer out of me.